Hey there, it's Erin with Time Saving Templates, and in today's video, I'm going to be going over the second video we have here in a series all about working with dates in Excel spreadsheets. So with this example, I'm going to be using one of our rental property templates here at timesavingtemplates.com. So let me open up the file. And we're going to be making some updates to this file. So I figured I would click record because it has to do with the dates that we use in this file. And you'll see this is an older one. It has a 2013 date here in the drop-down list. So there's a couple things that we're going to do, but just to give you a quick overview of this template, it's basically tracking different rental properties. I've just entered 3 for the example, and with this standard monthly information tab, we have a feature where you can enter a monthly rate for an expense. So say I have a $200 fee that I want to assign to management fees or maintenance, and then I can also assign it to the property. And let me just remove that date for a second. And it populates that it's $200 a month from January through December. And if the rate increases, then I can just enter the new rate and select the date. Say the rate increased in June, then I would select June here. And you'll see that in June, it populates with the increased rate of $250 and $200 for January through May. And then the top part works the same, it's just the rental income. So what I'm going to do that I thought would be a good example to go with the date feature is update this drop-down menu so that we could use any date and still have the formulas work for us. So real quick, I'm going to unhide some columns that are helping to calculate and make sure that everything is populating in the right month. And I also have a text up here that you can't see because I have it set to white. But if I change this to red, you'll see I have a number here. This number is actually a date formatted as general. But if I were to change it to a date, it is the second of each month. That's because I'm using math to subtract. And basically this formula is saying if the new date is greater than January 2nd, then give me the new monthly rate. If not, give me the current monthly rate. So something to understand about dates is you can add and subtract them as if they were a number. Let me hide some of this. So this is the drop-down list, where the drop-down list is referring to. And if I were to just equal, say I just copied these dates over and then change the format to general, then I'm getting the number that identifies with each date. And I believe if we just started with 1 and changed 1 to a date, we're getting January 1st, 1900. And so the dates are just starting from there. And that's it. So hopefully that makes sense. It's good to know for any type of date formula you're working on that you do have one unique number for each date. Okay, so moving on. The reason this formula works is because I have the specific dates set up with 2013. However, this can be confusing for people because it's not 2013 anymore. So it's time to update this for sure. It'll work, but there's a better way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a copy of this tab for the changes so we can go back and reference the original if we need to. Okay, so I first want to remove this drop-down list, and I could highlight it and clear the easier way, just copy a regular cell and paste over it. That's going to just remove that drop down list. And so I want people to just enter whatever date so that they need to. It can work for any year. We don't have to update this file every year. So I'm going to enter 3/3/2025. Oops. Let me change that format to a date. Okay, so if I put this date here where the formula was working, you'll see that now it shows 200 all the way across. So it's no longer recognizing that June needs to be updated. What I'm going to do is use the month formula, and the month formula will just extract just the month. And let's put that into this gray column instead of what I have, which is just the number version of that date. So I'm going to do equals month, and then the parenthesis, I'm going to click on the date, new rate is effective, and close. And that returns a 3. Looks like it returns a 1 if it's blank. That should be okay for now. And then, so this formula is looking at the number up here compared to the number in this column. So now all I need to do is enter the month. Let's change this to be formatted just as a number, not a date, and no decimals. So we're just going to give each month its number. Let's see if it'll update for me. Yep, 1 through 12 for January through December. And it looks like now it's working. It's picking up 250 for April. Oh, wait a second. Our effective date is March 3rd. Now, this will be something for a future video if you want to prorate based on the date, but for this formula, we only want to use the first of the month. We're not going to be prorating anything yet. However, keep in mind, if you can always type over the formula for a particular month if there is a different amount that you need. But for this example, I want the new rate to show for March, and it's not. It's showing for April and beyond. One small tweak we need to make, because if you think about it, we're looking at J17. Is this number greater than the month? What I'm going to do is just subtract 1 from this formula. If I just do the month and then -1, now it tries to, anytime you edit, it's going to try to convert to a date. Let me just drag this down and then format as general. And then now it's giving me 2. And with the subtracting 1, it also gives us a 0 for anybody that doesn't have an effective date. Okay, so from there, it looks like March is now populating correctly at $250 a month. I'd go ahead and hide these columns, and then if we wanted to test this out, I would just test every month real quick. Okay, so I entered each monthly effective date, and I'm just going to do a quick check that everything is populating in the right months. I no longer need these gray columns, and so I'm just going to use the conditional formatting to help me review these numbers, because this is a lot of numbers all in a row and it looks so similar. So I'm just going to highlight my data and go to conditional formatting and equal to, and so I'm just going to highlight the first monthly rate 200, or I'm going to enter 200 so I can highlight those, say a yellow, and I've entered the same number purposely for the test so that I can make sure that the formulas are still working correct. And then the next one, I want to highlight the amounts that are 250. And so then I can just do a quick look to see that it is increasing by 1 month for the new rate, just how I have it entered right here. So this is what I would expect. December 1st, changing to 250 right here, and then also January being effective, it's just going to be the new rate. The new rate is effective as of the date that is here, and for the rest of the months. So this looks good. I need to do the same thing for the formula up here on the top if we want to get rid of this drop down list as well. But hopefully you get the idea, and I hope this helps with any projects you're working on that have to do with working with dates. You can add and subtract, you can add some logic to it, and you can always pull out the month from any date. So that is definitely easier than having to update this file every year as the year changes. Stay tuned for next time, where I'll probably be looking at examples of prorating amounts. So say I wanted this new rate to be effective December 15th, we would need another formula to prorate the amount. And prorating amounts is usually might be more common when it comes to the HR and compensation templates. I'll probably be going over how bonuses are prorated based on date of hire and things like that. So that is a very common scenario. With rental properties, you probably are getting expenses or bills. You're probably getting the bill from the company, but it doesn't hurt to do your own calculation if you want. So that'll be for next time. And if you want to check out that template that I went over, it's in the rental or property management section over at timesavingtemplates.com, and then just go to the shop and property management. And then we also have a rental template quiz that'll ask a few questions about the type of rental properties, and then it'll recommend which template would work best for your situation. And then if you scroll down, you'll see the different options, and this was the rental income spreadsheet is the one that I showed today. And don't forget, we also have some free resources over here at timesavingtemplates.com/free resources. There's a free guide to get you started with Excel. For rental property, we have the property improvement tracker, which you can get for free. And then we also have some items in the small business and HR and comp, as well as some of our other video series. I'm posting more of the previous series we've done on the free resources page, so you can find them more easily. And until next time, don't forget, I am here to help you streamline and save time when it comes to using your Excel spreadsheets. Thanks.